Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's head-to-head comparison, let's take a look at the 2026 Audi S5 and the 2026 BMW M440i Gran Coupe. I borrowed these from Audi Northlake and Hendrick BMW Northlake, so take a look at their links down in the description, along with full detailed reviews that I made on both of these hatchbacks. So let's start off with the MSRPs. Both of these models hover right around $70,000, and of course you can spec them differently just depending on your budget, but we have two nearly identical models here, and we'll start off with what powers this S5. Underneath the hood, you'll find the 3-liter turbocharged V6 paired to a 7-speed automatic transmission, pumps out 362 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. For the BMW, this has a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbo paired to an 8-speed automatic, and it pumps out 386 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque. Both of these are all-wheel drive. The BMW weighs in around 4,200 pounds versus closer to 4,300 pounds for the Audi. 0 to 60 is going to be right around 4 seconds for the BMW, closer to 4.3 seconds for the Audi. Top speeds can be up to 155 miles an hour, just depending on the tires, of course. And then as far as MPG goes, you're looking at 20 and 29 for the Audi, and then 25 and 31 for the BMW. So with all those specs out of the way, let's take a look at the exterior styling, because these have vastly different appearances. So we'll start off with the Audi, where this has their traditional hexagonal grille. You'll also notice the white Audi badge. This model has a forward camera, all the parking sensors, and even sensors for distance pacing. You'll notice a dark housing for all of the LEDs and lots of brushed accents too. For the BMW, there's the kidney grille, which has a forward camera. There's also parking sensors, along with several cutouts. No sensor for distance pacing, however, that is an option. And then this has a dark housing for the headlights with all the LEDs too, and then very different lines coming down the hood for both of these models. Now you do have a few different wheel options. So for both of these models, this is the optional 20-inch wheel. There's also the red S-Line brakes, and then this has the two-tone design with the red M Sport brakes. You'll notice there's a trim accent for the BMW just behind that tire, going all the way just above the lower side skirt, where this actually has the lower side skirt with a different color. Now both of these have power folding side mirrors with a camera and a turn signal, and the BMW has a sunroof for your front passengers. The S5 has a full moonroof that goes all the way to the back passengers there. As we take a step back, you'll notice they have a similar design for the door handles, having that flush look. However, with the Audi, you actually have to reach in and grab the electronic release. With the BMW, it is still a traditional door handle. It just has that flush look to it. And then with its overall side design too, the BMW is going to be a little bit more boxier with its angles versus some smoother lines on the Audi there, but they both have a really fantastic look. Now for this S5, there's a small trunk-mounted spoiler, the large LED bar, there's also the quad-tip dual exhaust, backup camera, and parking sensors. Now you can use the control on the key fob or the release underneath to gain access here, where under the floor, this has a little bit of storage. There's also tie-down hooks, a strap. You can remove that cover, fold the back seats down as well for more space, and there's also a 12-volt too. So with the hatchback design, you have a lot more practicalities than a traditional trunk opening. For the BMW, a small trunk-mounted spoiler, there's LEDs for the lighting with the separated housings, and then a dual exhaust system, gloss black, and the backup camera is actually in the BMW badge itself. Same thing, you can use the key fob or that release, and with the BMW, there's no storage or anything underneath the floor. You do have some larger bins on both sides. You have this smaller cover that is removable. There's tie-down hooks, and you can fold the back seats down. With the BMW, you do have the hands-free option, so you can just kick your foot up underneath, and that is an additional way to gain access. Now this also has proximity door handles, so you can unlock and lock it with all four. There's the sunshade, leather and Alcantara, and then Bang & Olufsen for the audio. Now this particular model also has the upgraded Napa leather interior, and you can see with the seat folded down, you have good access into the back and a nice design for these seats. Now there's also storage pockets, auxiliaries, vents, a temperature control down below. And at 5'10", I have about a ½ inch or so, even with a hat on here, I can sit upright. You could fit a car seat back here. I could go on a short road trip. You can use this for adults to be in the back. Both of these are smaller vehicles, but they still have a good bit of practicality to them. And then you'll notice too, there's that small cargo window to give you some better visibility around that pillar. Now, as we work our way to the BMW, you'll notice that window is slightly larger in the back, and this also has proximity door handles. Now, this has pillarless doors. There's no sunshade for this because of that. You have brushed accents, Harman Kardon for the audio, some storage down below, and then interiors will vary, of course, depending on the color that you like and the options that you want. And at 5'10", hopping into the back, about the same amount of space. Now, you'll notice there's no storage pockets. You have vents, auxiliaries, temperature adjustments too. And I have roughly the same amount of headroom. I think you get a little bit more in the Audi, to be honest, but I could ride around town here nonetheless and still ride around. Now, there's also the armrest with the cup holders, and just like the Audi, you can fold this middle seat down as well. And then you can see with those cargo windows, again, that just helps with visibility around that section. Now, up front, this has memory seating adjustments. There's the window controls, side mirror adjustments, liftgate release, and then you have automatic front seats with the one manual leg support. And it's a low vehicle, so it's easy to get into, where we are now greeted with the leather steering wheel. It has the flat bottom design to it. There's also some more brushed accents, including the paddle shifters. Now, on the right side, there's volume tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands. The middle button will allow you to go through the gauge cluster. So you can go through all of this content, just depending on what you need to see. And you can also view it slightly different. So let's say you're on the navigation, you can change it just depending on how you want to view that information. This also does have a head-up display, so you can go through all of those settings as needed. On the left side, there's the cruise control settings. If it had the ambient lighting strips, that would indicate the distance pacing. So this model just has normal cruise control. Now, there's no storage over here. You have headlight adjustments, one air vent, and then with the infotainment system, you have quite a lot to go through. Now, you can also use the controls down below, so it is not just a touchscreen system. This has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. There's the drive recorder too. You can get into driving settings. You have quite a lot that you can monitor. The home screen has a split view, so you can go through all of this information. You can get into climates, the navigation and music, and then this model also has heated seats, a heated steering wheel, and then temperature adjustments. Now, carbon fiber is an option. There's vents underneath that with some lighting, volume, tuning, hazards, and defrosters, and then wireless charging, auxiliaries, and cup holders. These are the shortcuts for that screen. So again, you can use all of these very easily. And then this is how you put it into reverse. Now, this has automatic parking and backup assistance. So very helpful, and it has the 360 view. So you can easily see around it. You have a few top-down angles too. There's drive and sport mode, and then park behind that. Traction control, a shortcut to the camera system. There's parking sensors, engine start stop, and then you have a few different driving modes to get into. You can configure Eco Pro and Sport mode, and then you have comfort as well. There's auto hold and the e-brake. You get an auxiliary with storage and the armrest, a locking glove box too. And then there's garage door buttons up top, dome lights, and a physical button for the sunroof and sunshade. So those are both power operating. And then with a look at visibility from the driver's seat, it's pretty easy to see with that pillar there. Having this hatchback design, it's still very easy to see all around. Now, as we work our way to the Audi, for this door panel, we have some very nice materials. You'll notice, however, there's this massive panel here for your headlights, mirrors, memory seating adjustments, child lockout, your lock and unlock, and then the window controls are behind that, and there's a liftgate in that lower section. Now, this also has the Nappa leather seats, which are massaging, which the BMW does not have, and it has that manual leg support as well. And then as we hop in, we're greeted with a leather steering wheel with a flat top and bottom design to it. This has paddle shifters, and then on the right side, there's the heated steering wheel, volume tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands. There's a favorites button on the steering wheel, so you can set that up to what you use the most. And then on the left side, this is how you go through the virtual cockpit. Now, there's not quite as many configurations as the BMW, so you have 3 screens here that you can go in between, and then you can also look at information on this left side. You can pull up lap timers and lap statistics, and then you have some daily driving information to monitor too. So not quite as much, but it is nice that you can at least pull those up front and center. And then this has distance pacing with the cruise control stock. Now, both of these have an electronic steering wheel, so you can easily adjust those. And then the Audi gets storage on this left side. There's also one air vent, no head-up display for this model. And with this large curved screen, your home screen has this split view. You can get into your navigation, your music and phone, and then under car, you have a lot to go through. The driving modes is very similar to the BMW, so you can go through those as needed. And then you have various settings here to adjust all of this, even getting into the massaging seats, which is nice. And you have services and then some more settings to monitor as well. Now this also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have driver assistances. This particular model features a dash cam. So that's located right underneath the rear view mirror. There's also an SD card slot, so you can activate that and use it as needed. Now this model also gets ventilated seats as well, so they're heated too. You have climate adjustments where you can also adjust the rear, which is really nice to see. There's some defrosters too, and then the temperature adjustments. Underneath that, there's vents. This gets wireless charging with auxiliaries. You have volume, traction control, hazards, engine start stop, a shortcut to the driving modes, and then this is how you put it into reverse. So nearly identical to the BMW with its function, just a little bit larger, and you can go through the 360 view. This model gets parallel parking though, which is really nice to see. And then park is the e-brake. And above that, you have a shortcut to the camera system, and you can also get into several of these icons. Now, the BMW does have a lot of these. You just have to search for them in the screen a little bit more. So this is nice that you can quickly get into all of those. Now, you have cup holders. You get a little bit of storage, no auxiliary in that armrest. You have a locking glove box. This large piano black trim accent. In some models, that is a screen. Now this has garage door buttons up top, touch sensitive dome lights, and then with this full moonroof, this has a sunshade, but it's within the glass itself. So as you can see parts of the sun there, you can actually adjust this depending on if you want the light to come in or not, which is pretty neat than having that roll up sunshade. And then here's a look at visibility over both shoulders, where it's going to be roughly the same, since it's going to have a similar window, of course, as the BMW. But with the exteriors and interiors wrapped up, let's get both of these hatchbacks out on the road and see how they drive. And we'll start off behind the wheel for the S5 in dynamic mode, second gear. Here we go. And just a minor acceleration up to speed. This definitely has a lot of power. It has a very smooth acceleration, and the paddles are going to be very responsive for the transmission. You can actually shift 3 different ways. So you have the paddle shifters, you do have a sport shift for the transmission itself, and then just normal drive. So behind the wheel for the S5, this is a great place to be. Lots of very nice materials. At 5'10" for the driver's seat here, I have about 3 or so inches of headroom at the moment, and the seat is height adjustable. So you can move that much farther down. You might be able to push 6 feet tall and fit in this. It also has the automatic steering wheel adjustment as well. So you can definitely get dialed in. And with the optional seats here, they have really good bolster support on both sides. So if you're looking to do some performance style driving, I would highly recommend going with the seat option. It is going to hold you well around turns, and it's very comfortable. So for this being a daily, it's going to be very luxury focused, refined feeling, super quiet on the interior as well. And you get the hatchback just like the BMW. So it's going to have some more capabilities with the rear cargo space, depending on how often you're using that and the items that you are transporting. But a really nice layout for all the tech features. You have the voice commands too to help you out as well. And just a comfortable place to be. So everything's laid out well. You have good armed bolsters and arm supports on both sides here, just to give you a great driving position and a good bit of space as well. So you can't go wrong with the S5 and the latest model here with the large screen, some other updates that Audi has put into this with the new designs. Definitely a fantastic luxury option to go with. But let's hop behind the wheel now for the BMW and see what that's like. And behind the wheel now for the M440i Sport Mode, second gear. Here we go. And with a minor acceleration, this is a little bit louder, especially in Sport Plus compared to the Audi. So you can hear the gurgles in the exhaust slightly more. However, you can't hear it if you're paying attention in the Audi. But behind the wheel now for the BMW, really nice place to be too. I will point out that the large screen is actually much shorter than in the Audi. So it's a little bit more elongated versus the Audi being a little bit shorter and higher. Both are really nice, however, just depends on the styling that you like. and we have a really good seating position. At 5'10", I do have less headroom, so maybe closer to 2 inches. This is a height adjustable seat though. So all the way down, maybe 3.5. So you do have a little bit more headroom in the Audi, but you could still be pretty tall and fit comfortably in this model as well. You have good armrests on both sides, really good outlook. The pillars are slightly different. You have the speaker here that you didn't see in the Audi, but you have a really nice place to be. Everything is laid out well, so it's easy to use. You have the voice commands too that you can use as needed. And then with the engine in this 440i, this is the same one found in the M340i. It's also in several other BMW models, and there's a lot of tuning and support for modifications if that is something that you are looking to do. The 340 is a little bit more popular with that platform to do some modifications like that, but you have the option to do that. You could do that with the Audi, but I think a lot more people are tuning these B58s compared to the Audi version. So if that is something that you want to do, of course not everyone wants to do that to their vehicle, you still have a healthy amount of power for this particular model. And even with the M Sport suspension, it's going to ride and drive very nice. It is a little bit stiffer, but that is to be expected for a vehicle like this that can corner well, just like the adaptive sport suspension for the Audi. So coming back to final thoughts now between the Audi S5 and the BMW M440i. This is a really tough one for me because I own an Audi, my R8 is back there, I also have a BMW as well, so I could go with either model here. I do like the fact that for a similar price though, the Audi does have a few more options, like the massaging seats. You have a little bit more tech within that screen that's more user-friendly and easier to get to. But the BMW, in my opinion, is going to be a little bit more sporty feeling, especially with the sound of it and how it drives. Not to say the S5 isn't going to be just as sporty, but I don't think you can go wrong with either one. These are both going to have a lot of good power to them. They're both comparable in their sizing too, so it really just depends on the exterior styling, the interior tech features. I am becoming more familiar with the BMWs as I have an X5, so this is nearly identical to the interior of my vehicle. But I love the Audis as well. So this is a tough one for me. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. They're both very luxury focused vehicles. They'll both be extremely fun to drive. This model here also has the optional sport adaptable suspension too. You can get the M Sport suspension as well, so they're going to be comparable in their handling and the characteristics that they will provide you with some sporty driving fun. So you can't go wrong with either one. I like the new updates with this Audi. I think it's a great new design, some nice tech features for the money. With the BMW, we don't have quite as much new updates since this is relatively new for this platform. So maybe we'll see in a few years another change with this 4 Series from BMW. But comment down below, let me know your thoughts, S5 or M440i. Give this video a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.